This could quite possibly be my last video of this nature, if not forever, for the time being. The reason being, obviously, my sister's back tomorrow, and I'm not going to have the privacy, obviously, for obvious reasons. Like, I'm not going to be sitting here talking as frank as I do. So, not it's not a case of my style being cramped. It's just I'm not that kind of person. I'm very private, and I tend to do, even though I put things out there, when I'm doing them, I do them privately. So it's a bit like in the past, let's say, when I used to write songs frequently. Nobody was allowed to see what I was writing or hear what I was writing until it was finished, or unless I had got to a certain point of completion, not necessarily with the entire song, but with that particular verse or with that particular section of music. So similarly, I don't, even though people think I'm broadcasting my business, which I'm not as such, I'm just putting things out there. I tend to like to do things when there's nobody around. So that's why maybe if I'm on the road or something, I might do a video then. But most certainly I won't be doing any from here, right here where I am now at my sister's place. So I kind of wanted to do, if you like, a kind of fun video, because I'm a fun kind of person. So I'm the type, I observe people and things, right? I think in life you should take note of things, because that's how you navigate. It's like when you're walking down the road, you look where you're going so you don't bump into obstacles. So I like not so much to study people, but whatever is presented in front of me, I like to, if you like, dissect and try and make of it what it is. When I say make sense of my nonsense, similarly, I like to make sense of what's put in front of me for future reference. So just now I posted on Facebook, because obviously with everything going on at the moment, and it's one thing after another. So I've literally, if you like, chucked in the towel, not in a defeatist kind of way, but I've just decided that rather than I've got my plans and my schedules. I'm just going to if you like, just freewheel. I'm not going to plan anything. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to go through whatever motions. So my plan tomorrow is to get up and go and gather fabric from my place and come back and quickly do whatever I need to do, and just work to that schedule, because I know that up until Sunday evening my time is my own. But Monday, as I've said, my sister's landlord is coming round, and then Tuesday, I think I mentioned it on one of the videos. On Tuesday, my sister has a hospital appointment, and it's gonna be that we're being picked up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's going to be all day. So whatever plans I had for myself for Tuesday, work-wise or otherwise, are out of the window. So it's one of these things where I've just decided, well, I shall resist no longer. I'm just going to go with the flow. I'm not going to try to make things work. I'll just let it do whatever it's going to do, and just sort of play it like that. So I was seriously sitting here. Well, I kind of abandoned work for the evening and decided to sort of do housework, and there's a lot of paper, my sister's letters and things, just to sort of just put them into one place. So I was doing all of that and just getting everything ready for her, for when she comes back, making the bed, etc. And in all of that, the thought occurred, there's got to be simpler ways to live. And one of the simplest ways is to get married. You know, I'm being serious. Even though sometimes I joke, like I posted on Facebook that I'm contemplating marriage as a solution to having an easier life, and then I asked for volunteers. Now, when I was looking, when I a couple of days ago when I needed to move the sofa bed, for me it was the same scenario. I'm looking for someone, a couple of people, to help me to take the sofa bed down to the garage. And in the end, it was one of my friends that I'd never met before, Gary, from Facebook, who volunteered. So obviously, if I can find a volunteer to help me move a sofa bed, then I've got a good sense of humor, I like to think. So I posted I asked any volunteers, but it's funny how bashful people in general are. When I say people, I mean men. How I'm bashful, because I get a lot of messages, proposals, and all sorts of things on a just a normal basis. But then, so basically, I'm linking this back to the sofa bed, because I did say in one of those videos that I've had so many people say to me, over the course of my life, if there's anything I can do to help you, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. And I've said, guaranteed 100% of the time, when you go and ask the person, can you help me with such and such a thing, the answer is no. And I'm talking in terms of practical ways, right? So in the same way, so I've asked for volunteers who wants to marry me, and a couple of guys popped up, and some laughing emoji, but nothing, no sort of serious no serious volunteers. Obviously, I'm not the type of person who would, far be it from me to go on dating websites and all of that. I don't do that sort of thing. But it's just saying that when it's the saying, you just can't get the staff. So for example, there are guys who volunteer to marry me, but if I was to ask them, what do you have in my current situation, how would you be of benefit to me? Like I said, I needed someone to, a couple of people to help me move the sofa bed. My friend Barry was a willing volunteer, and then I had to get a complete stranger who I'd never met before from Facebook, because in the real world nobody was available, right? So it's saying that in as much as there are plenty people out there who would volunteer for the who in their mind, if you were to ask them, but not in the way that I did, as being playful, if you were to ask them, or rather they would view themselves as somebody who they would sort of put themselves forward, if you like, offering themselves in marriage, but they don't have anything to offer. So instead of it's I think it was Ben Hur with the horses, the one guy with the Arabian horses, and he had 4 horses, and he was saying what each of them's role was on the team, on the chariot. So in the same way, I could say to a guy, so what do you have to offer me? And it would sort of perhaps love, money, and these sorts of things. But these are just small things. It's like say, for example, support. What I talk a lot about personal development and all of that. In what way would you be able to support me? I know in what ways as you can see, I'm here with my sister. She's coming back tomorrow. Not gonna go down the road of family, but I'm the only one in a position to, she can come home and all will be well. I can support her in whatever ways she needs support. So similarly, it is all good and well volunteering to do something, but do you have the capability to follow through? So it's pretty much the same kind of thing where mostly I'm gonna say, with obviously I'm single, I've never been married kind of thing, but it's not because I can't, I could if I wanted to, but it's sort of about having standards. It's sort of like, do you want to complicate your life? Yeah, you can have somebody in your life, but do you want to complicate it? So it's that kind of thing. So not just sort of talking about marriage as such, but it's any kind of relationship, family, friends, anything. If somebody's going to be in your life in any kind of whatever the relationship is, whether you're married to them, they're your brother, your sister, your mother, father, anybody that you've got in your life, friend, if they are okay, if they are more problem than they are worth. So in my case, I get rid of people, and I've said this about getting rid of people. Why would you pick up somebody? I guess I talk about this in the book. Some people want the status of being married, and others are looking for the right person. And then you've got somebody like me who's not looking, but obviously, sometimes you're not looking, and you meet something, you find something. It's like going to the shop. I wish I had my boots here. I went to the shop and up in Camden, and there I found my dream boots. I don't have a picture of them. Sorry, I probably do have a picture on my tablet or my phone, but I don't. The boots are not here. They're back at my place. But my dream boots, I saw them and I had to have them, and I don't remember how much I paid for them, but I paid a lot of money for them because they were worth it. So it's the same kind of thing. It's like, to bring people into your life, it's gonna cost you something. Is it worth it? So for me, even though the post I put on Facebook, I was being playful, in a way I was being serious, because I was genuinely thinking that in life, this is where you get the violins out. There's nobody but me. It's only me, kind of thing. So whereas I support others, I don't necessarily have others supporting me. So I tend, well, it's when I say that, it's like, the support in the way that you need the support, if that makes sense. So there's no point, like, for example, people that I was trying to contact a couple of people with regards, not necessarily them helping me to move the sofa bed, but with them sort of hooking me up with somebody who perhaps could. And I gave the example as well about when I hired the equipment, used my initiative to hire the equipment so that the disco could happen. So if somebody came to me looking for help and I couldn't do it, I would more than likely find somebody who can help them, depending whether I think that they deserve the help. Because some people you can't really, because of the standards are so poor, you don't really want to introduce them to anybody of any substance, because it's your reputation. You introduce somebody. It's a bit like when people the blind date thing. They introduce a friend. I've had people try to do this to me. You try they try to hook two people up, and it's disastrous. I know people have done that, and it sort of ended up ruining people's lives, because they took their their friend's word for it, that this person's a good person, end up married to them, and then complete disaster. So it's that kind of thing. I wouldn't, even in business, I wouldn't recommend someone to somebody who's got poor standards, because that it's gonna come back on me, right, when things don't go as they should. So I don't even know what I was talking about. Just I've lost my train of thought. But so it's basically, for me, standards matter. So if you, I've had people say that I've priced myself out of the market. In other words, yes, you're asking too much. But the thing is, I'm not actually asking anything, because if it's not what I want, then I won't buy it. So it goes back to the boots. I saw them, I wanted them, I paid for them, I love them. So I think it's sort of like, sometimes, again, using the example of, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. Imagine getting married to somebody, or any kind of relationship. But let's talk about marriage for the sake of it. You get married to somebody and they're completely useless. That it's like having walking around with a rock on your back. You don't really want to do that to yourself. So it is good to sort of examine people, question them, let them, what's the word I'm looking for? Let them give you an account of themselves. Let them tell you why they are the right candidate. So I was saying to one of my friends earlier that I've actually spoken to people in the past who've had disastrous marriages, and I ask, so why did you marry the person? And in some situations, he asked me. It's usually women. He asked me, and it was nice to be asked. Nobody had ever asked me before, and so they got carried away by the idea that somebody had asked them to marry them, and they didn't sort of like look beyond that point. So for me, like I said, even the thought, seriously, in all seriousness, the thought did occur that perhaps, as a solution to an easy life, why, I get lots of marriage proposals anyway. Why not get married? But my thing is, I wouldn't marry somebody who I have to carry. Right? And when I say carry, I'm not talking financially. I'm talking in terms of having to do the thinking for them and everything. There would be no point to that. And so from where I'm positioned right now, I don't know that I know anybody who I wouldn't have to carry. And it would be for whoever would be interested to prove to me that they wouldn't need to be carried. Again, this friend I was speaking to is a male. I said to him, with some people think fairy tales are for children, but I think there's a lot you can learn. So as in the case of Cinderella, is it Cinderella? Yes, where whoever the slipper fit, said the prince, I shall marry. So you don't look at it like, oh, if the shoe is the right size, then that person, because anybody could fit into it, assuming that there were plenty of women who took that size shoe, that size slipper. It is more who's got the qualities. Whoever's got these qualities that I'm looking for, that's the person I shall marry. And when I say about whoever's got the qualities that I'm looking for, using that as an example, straight away somebody would come back and say, but what qualities do you have? Right? So it is again, speaking to this friend, I think he's going to post on Facebook, and he was saying about women, a lot of the women of a certain age who their better years are behind them, they think that by presenting themselves like they've got houses and they've got money and they've got material things, that makes them a catch, when they're nothing to behold. Not me saying it, this guy saying it. So he's gonna post something about that on Facebook. So I've had guys, for example, who have money, but they use their money as a substitute for a personality, and they can get women, but the type of women who they can get, they don't want them. They want the woman. They want the women who don't want them. So somebody like me, if you don't, if your personality is wrong, your character is wrong, I wouldn't be. It doesn't matter how much money you've got. It doesn't matter how good you look. If you don't have the right personality, character traits, etc., then to me you're nothing. So I meet, I encounter people like this because, again, not blowing my trumpet, but I think I've got a fantastic personality. If you meet me, if you met me in a social setting or otherwise, you would see. So it's like sometimes I go out and like now, it's I never make myself look good. I just come as I am. So I don't dress up or anything. I carry myself how I will. So sometimes when I go out, I dress down so as not to draw attention to myself, right? So, and again, people think, oh, she thinks so much of herself. You would have to accompany me on a night out to see what happens. I've said to people, it's not me that people are interested, guys are interested in. It's my energy, and you would have to sort of be in the arena to see what I'm talking about. So, I am gonna try and keep this as short as possible, but like I said, this is gonna be the last one of this kind of video, if not forever, for a long time. So yeah, I said I was gonna make it fun, but because I know that relationships is something that's on everybody's minds, I literally, as a solution, I literally did think, maybe I should get married. Maybe I should take up one of these marriage proposals or something. But obviously that wouldn't happen because you have to invest. Well, when I say you, me personally would have to investigate the individual, and the individual would have to pass all the tests in order for that to happen. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm likening the situation to me needing someone to help me, or a couple of people to help me move the sofa bed. You might it's the same like with friendships. We don't choose our friends because we find them attractive and we want to marry them. We choose them for their character, and for me, even like with I've said this many times. With we don't like I said, we don't choose our friends because they're attractive or whatever else. We choose them because of their personality and their character, and we prefer to be around the people that we like rather necessarily than the people that we love, because everybody loves their family, they love who their parents, their children, etc. But don't necessarily have things in common. So for me, I'm quite a simple person. There are only a few things that I enjoy. I enjoy sports and I enjoy music. And all things music related, all things sports related, watching, playing, whatever, talking about it. So I tend to connect more with people who are into those things. But like I said, character matters as well. So I mean, some people would get excited and say, oh yes, she likes sports, I like sports. And believe me, I've had all sorts of men from karaoke. Oh, she's into karaoke, I'm into karaoke, and they think that's it. Or guys from church, she goes to church, I go to church. But it's a hell of a lot more than that. And this is how people end up in situations, because they think just because we go to the same place, we like the same thing, that makes a marriage. It's about what the person is made of. And so, like I said, don't want to sort of let this run and run, because it could go on for a long time. But I do. There's a section in my book on marriage, and it pretty much, that passage was written more than 20 years ago, but those were my thoughts, and they are still my thoughts. I'm the kind of person who, not so much a physical list. I did start off with a physical list of characteristics, but I've actually made two, one for myself and one for the person, the ideal candidate, whoever he might be, because in this, like I said, with a lot of women, they think that because, you know, they have, like my friend was saying, they've got money and they've got houses or something, that men will be attracted to, or men should find them attractive. So it's the same thing. It's not about it's not about love. It's not about material things. Bottom line, the thing that binds people are the things that they have in common, and as well, belief system and so on. The Bible says we shouldn't be unequally yoked. I believe that we shouldn't be unequally yoked in families, in friendships, in no relationships. In all relationships, we shouldn't be unequally yoked. So if you like, I'm quite complicated on that level, and people perhaps may think I'm too good, or I think too much of myself or something. But whenever I get into situations with people, they eventually understand that we are not for one another. I'm talking about friendships. I don't tend to have friendships with women for specific reasons. We tend to not have a lot in common. And I've had women in the past say, oh no, you know, not all women are this way and that way, and try to prove that they can be a friend, and then it goes horribly wrong. Right? So there are some women who, well, I can think of one in particular. It didn't take long for that to go south. She ended up blocking me because I told her about herself. In fact, this was to do with, because I'm not into old men, and people would say, but you're old. I'm not into old men, right? But and it was, she invited me to a party, and there was an old man there, and apparently he was very rich, and he was talking to me because I've got that kind of personality, and people do want to engage with me. And lo and behold, the women at the party, some of them who had their eyes on him, you know how it goes. You know what women are like, and it was like that. So I don't know any of these people, and my name was being called. Maybe people were talking about me, and even though I said I'm not into old men, but maybe this one's different. I'm not into old men. And no, I'm not into old men. And so this is the confusion that started happening, and I let her rip on her. She ended up blocking me, but that was that's how I resolved that situation. So I don't tend to have anything much to do with women, because usually something like this occurs. There's some man involved, and they might be interested in him, dog with the bone kind of thing, or dog salivating over a bone. But like I said, I don't do old men. So he could have all the money in the world, I wouldn't be interested. I'm all about having fun. So I don't even know how did I end up here? But anyway, I'm going to say pick sense out of my nonsense. But like I said, it's not, for me, it's not a question of I'm fussy. I'm pretty straightforward, but I have very high standards. And again, people would want to look at that and form judgments. But I know what my standards are. And like I said, in the same way that my sister's coming home tomorrow, and I've got a hell of a lot of things that I need to do for myself. And like I said, I've just sort of, for want of a better term, chucked in the towel, and I'm just going to go with the flow. And see where that flow takes me. In the same way, I can imagine myself in a situation with a man who with my sister, she needs support, which is different. But for me, if I'm in a situation with another adult, I don't expect to be carrying them, which is why I talk a lot about self-development. I expect, it's like, I've used the example before about, Ethiopians before Mo Farah came along used to win all the distance races, right? So I've used the example that you might get a mediocre Ethiopian shackled to Haile Gebrselassie, and that mediocre Ethiopian is going to hold Haile Gebrselassie back. He's not going to be able to perform as good as he might do if he's not shackled to him, right? So it's the same scenario. If you are shackled to someone, or somebody is shackled to you who are not at the same level, or you're not at the same level as them, the one who is at the lesser level is going to drag the other one backwards. That's a reality. And some people would argue, it's usually people who are the ones who will drag people backwards, who will argue that we're supposed to help each other, we're supposed to strengthen one another, this, that, the other. It's usually the one who's going to hold the other one back, who comes with the argument. So I get a lot of guys, or in the past, not so much now, because they've all sort of, a lot of them have drifted off this, taken the sour grapes approach, and I'm a horrible human being kind of thing. Right, so I don't so much get that now, because people pretty much know, guys pretty much know what I'm about. But yeah, so it's the trying to get somebody to be less than what they are. I talk about this in the book as well. You sort of talk them down to, so that they will come down, start doubting themselves, come down to a lesser level. But again, like I've said so many times, if you practice self-development and you are sure of yourself, nobody can do that to you. And yes, you might have to walk through the world as a single person and not have many friends and not be connected to your family. But, if you are strong in yourself, and in my case, I know not everybody believes in God, but if you sort of have a connection with God, then you're all right. That's all you need, really. So I don't know what's going to happen next when my sister comes back. I have no idea where my life is going at the moment. I have no idea. Do I have a life even? But it will be interesting. The one thing I'm looking forward to getting back to, which is what this YouTube channel was established for in the first place, not so much to gain subscribers. I set up the channel so that because of the nature of what I do, if I needed to send like a sample of music or just anything with a video or something to the people that might require it, it's the easiest thing to do is send a link, rather than to try and send a video and it's too big as a file or something. So that's really why I set up the channel, to put things there, and so that people can have a look if they need to for work purposes. But then we went into lockdown, so I started doing these videos, and this is number 61 already. So I'm gonna leave it there. I think I said quite a lot, but yeah, as regards the marriage thing and whatever, for me, I've said I'm more interested in having a playmate rather than somebody who's going to be a burden to me. So I'll leave it there. See you whenever I see you. Bye.